So Nintendo had one last surprise before they get to announcing the Switch 2, and that is a random Nintendo Direct that happened this morning that most people, including myself, only found out about yesterday afternoon. Now, this was not a partner direct or anything like that. This was a quick 30-minute direct that showed a lot of stuff that we had already heard about and knew was going to be released, and also threw in some that we hadn't heard of yet. So I'm not going to go through the entire 30-minute direct, but I will touch on the announcements that I was actually interested in. So the first was Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Now, I cannot be considered a Metroid fan. I've never actually played a Metroid game before, but the franchise has always looked really interesting to me. I actually have Metroid Dread on my shelf along with my other Switch games. I just haven't opened it yet because honestly, it's a bit intimidating being like the Metroid to the Metroidvania. And it kind of looks kind of scary and I'm kind of a baby. But I will get to it, I promise, and this might be the kick in the butt that I need to actually get to Dread. And so basically, I have very little knowledge of the franchise in general, aside from Samus in a suit, goes to places. And this poor game has been delayed so long, so the first look when it was actually going to be officially released felt kind of like a miracle. And that first look was really good, and this latest one makes it look even better. The graphics look really clean and the environments look really nice, even though they're like kind of, the planet looks a little dead, but it still looks really good, like graphic wise. And the main thing that really caught my attention for this was the abilities that she gets. So Samus still has her like guns to shoot things like in the other games, but she now gets some psychic abilities, and that was really cool because it showed some puzzles being solved and it seems like it can be used for exploration. So that makes me more interested in the game, and I'm actually really excited to try and see kind of how this game is received, I guess. So I'm actually really excited for Metroid Prime 4, and yeah, I will be adding it to my list of games. The next one is Pokemon Legends 𝕬𝕗. So I was not expecting another Legends trailer so soon after the Pokemon Presents, to where the initial drop of like overall game experiences was shown. I did not expect to see anything new here, but we got a better look at the city and probably what is going to be the main gimmick this time around. I do like that the catching mechanics seem to be pulled basically directly from Arceus. I really like that, just being able to throw out a Pokeball without having to fight or initiate a battle. It just makes things go nicer, and it feels like a very nice quality of life improvement, and I'm actually really hoping that this in some form makes its way to the mainline games in the future. I love the fighting mechanic that they seem to be putting in here, to where you move and you're in real time. It seems to have gotten rid of the PP system and seems to be only using cooldown periods for being able to use your moves. Still love that, still very, very excited for that. And we got a glimpse at the day and night difference within Lumiose City. And that is some kind of fight club going on, to where the focus turns to fighting other trainers in these battle zones. And the fact that you can ambush or be ambushed is really an interesting concept, and I'm really excited to play around with it. So the more information I get for this game, the more I am interested in it and want to get it, and ooh, this was a big change from where I stood on Legends 𝕬𝕗 a year ago. The virtual game cards was something that I did not expect from Nintendo, but of course it's a very Nintendo thing to do looking back at it. So the concept is really good for people that have two Switch consoles and maybe want to share games with family or those on your family plan. So like for me, I can look at my boyfriend who got a Switch Lite originally because he didn't have a TV, so he didn't see the point in spending an extra $100. And now he has a normal regular Switch. Now he primarily plays that regular Switch. He can hook it up to the TV that we now have and all that stuff. But when we travel, he likes to use his Switch Lite. It's a lot lighter, it's smaller, it's a personal preference, but it's a pain in the ass for him to move his save data over via the cloud. And if the digital game that he has doesn't have that cloud sync, he's kind of screwed and he just decides not to play it. So he's pretty limited on the games that he can play whenever we're traveling. So this will at least make it to where any game should hopefully be able to be swapped around. I'm curious to see on how big a range the games that include the virtual game card are. Are they just going to be Nintendo first party? Can they be expanded to third party? Like, how exactly is this going to be implemented? I'm really curious to see how that happens. And of course, a lot of people are talking about this will be nice to move from Switch 1 to Switch 2. So that might make things a lot easier. Now, I was not expecting to be able to loan out digital games. That has been one of the huge things that I think has been lacking, and the reason that I just really love physical games, along with being able to physically display them and see my collection. I can't loan them out. Since I have the biggest physical game collection of my friend group, I tend to be the game library that people will be like, oh, can I borrow this game? And I can only do that and let them play the game if I have it physical. If I have it digital, I can't do anything. Now for these friends, I'm still not going to be able to do anything because we aren't on a shared family plan. We, the ones who are on it at least, have different family plans with our actual family. So that's still not going to be great, but like me and my mom are on the same family plan, and now I can loan her games that I think she might like, and she doesn't have to buy them again. She's not a huge gamer, so like being able to like try out games is a lot better and financially safer for her. So I think that's going to be really good. This also will actually put, I think, more value into the family plan, so that is nice. And the next one, it was actually like the first thing in the direct, but I went off of the IGN for remembering what was shown, and that is the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remakes. So I have only played, and I haven't even finished, Dragon Quest 11. That is the only Dragon Quest game that I've played, and I've heard really good things about the other games, so I do want to play them eventually. I just have too many JRPGs that I'm really slow to get through them, and I'm just really slow to play them in general. But I need to finish Dragon Quest 11, and then I want to play 3, which my boyfriend has physically, so I can just borrow that from him. And I do want to get the 1 and 2 remakes whenever they come out. The pixel art looks incredible, and I really want to know the story behind this original trilogy for Dragon Quest. And I know my boyfriend's gonna want them, so we're probably gonna get a physical copy of this. And I'm still kind of sad that we don't have a release date outside of simply being released in 2025, but it's okay because it's not like I'm in a hurry to get to these titles. Now the next one is an Atlus title that I actually had never heard of, and I thought I more or less knew all of Atlus's titles, and now I'm really thinking I don't. And that is 𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕬? Ooh. The Mystery of the Soulless Army. Now this is a game I did not know existed, but it is getting a remaster, and it was really kind of obvious to see after looking at the visuals. I even thought to myself, this looks like an Atlus title. That's so interesting. And it keeps the same style of there's devil summoning, there's battling and bonding with demons and devils. That core mechanic with all of the like SMT and Persona monsters that are in there, they're in this one too, like that core staple of Atlus. And the most interesting part was the actual battling part. Now there does seem to be a whole story with like maybe a detective theme going on. I wasn't really sure. I was too distracted trying to figure out what game it was to actually pay attention to the first part, I'm gonna be honest. But the fighting in Atlus games most of the time takes place alongside devils that you recruit in a turn-based combat system. But this one seems to be more you're going and fighting the monsters in real time from the clips that I've seen, and I took a glance at the extended version that IGN had, and it seems totally different from what I'm used to with Persona and what I've seen from SMT games. That is basically added to my must playlist. It is going on there. I have a personal goal to play through every Atlas game that I can get my hands on because I just really like their games. And yeah, this added a game that I had no idea was going to be on my list. Okay, we have 3 more left, and the next one is Witchbrook. So I swear I've seen stuff for this game before. It might already be out on like PC, I think maybe, but it's really cool. So I really like the pixel art, and I like witch themed stuff. I think it can be cool, throw on some magic, but I'm kind of weary of witch games because in the cozy gaming realm, a lot of witch games have been kind of flooding the market periodically. Some of them incredibly well fleshed out, great content, really good writing, and some are just a bit lackluster, and I was worried which side of the coin this game fell on. But I think that it is falling on the more fleshed out side. So you, instead of taking care of like a garden or a town or something, you are going to a witch college. And you get to go through a bunch of stuff in the city that you're in, like doing different tasks to try and pay for tuition, which I think is really funny. I kind of like the concept, really realistic. You gotta figure out how to pay for your school and maybe like projects and stuff. I think that it will probably have a lot of content fleshed out, and being able to actually go through a well-developed town with a story will be really fun. And so I will definitely be adding this to my wish list and keeping an eye on it. And so the next one is The Eternal Life of 𝕬𝕠𝕟. And as soon as I saw this game, I knew it was getting added to my must play list. So this game is beautifully hand-drawn. It gives me like Cuphead vibes with the art style, just gorgeous, kind of old school cartoon. I love that art style. I think it can never go out of style, and I just will always think it's gorgeous and will always fawn over games that look like this because it's all hand-drawn and it's gorgeous, and so much effort and love and passion went into it. I just don't think anyone can actually hate that game. And it's just, this is a game that I haven't even played it yet, but for some reason it's invoking this weird feeling of nostalgia that I haven't really felt in a game since Celeste, and that is a game that I actually played. So I don't really know why this game is so appealing to me, but it just looks so smooth. The abilities really drew me in, and it looks fun. It looks like there's some aspects that are kind of like platformery, but it said it's a Metroid-like. I didn't even get to see a whole lot of the gameplay, but I was just immediately hooked. I'm going to be keeping my eye on this game. I really want to play it. And the last one, it's kind of like a group of 2+1 games, and that is Monument Valley. So there is 2 different entries for Monument Valley. The first one is the 1 and 2 games that are seeming to get ported over together, and there is also a brand new 3rd game that will be coming out, and these games are puzzle games that seem like they will be super, super fun and rewarding when you figure it out, but also I feel like these are going to melt my brain. I'm not sure if you can move the camera around, but it's like you can go on different kind of ledges and stairways on this kind of pillar-like thing, and maybe it expands more. The gameplay just looked really interesting, and I really do want to check it out. And it's cool that they're releasing the original 2, and then the brand new entry to the series is coming out after. So I'm kind of hoping that this game like gets some recognition, because I hadn't heard of it before, but it looks really clean. It looks really nice, and I like a good puzzle game. So those are the handful of games / virtual game card topics that I really found interesting in the direct. Now, I did see Rift of the Necrodancer on there that I would have talked about, but I already have it on PC, and I'm actually playing through it already, so I kind of just put that to the side. I like the game. I think it's great. Don't know how I play on Switch? Probably great. Don't know. But yeah, that's gonna be it. So tell me in the comments below what your favorite announcement from the direct was. I thought that it was pretty decent. I wasn't expecting a whole lot. I was actually expecting some like old ports coming over. yeah, I wasn't expecting a whole lot of like new games. So yeah, the fact that there was a handful of new games, like a rhythm heaven game, a Tamagotchi life game that are new to the franchise, I thought that was really cool. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a pretty decent direct for being the end of the Switch's lifespan. So yeah, let me know your favorites down in the comments below, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Thank you everyone who watched. I hope you got something out of it. If you liked it and you think I did a good job, give me a thumbs up. It keeps my videos on your For You page, and if you want to go the extra mile, give me a subscribe. And if you want to go the extra mile, give me a subscribe so you don't lose me in the sea of YouTube content. But that is going to be it for me for today. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I hope to see you again in a future video. Bye guys.